Hey guys, and welcome back and welcome to Geekmas. Geekmas is here. I am very, very excited. I did this last year where I'm uploading every day until Christmas. Some of them will be YouTube shorts, but mostly, hopefully full-length videos. If you are new, please subscribe. I love makeup. It's just a whole lot of fun, and today's video is going to be about disappointing products. Now, I don't want to do the whole disclaimer, like I just don't think these are that great, not terrible, some are better than others. Everything here I did by myself. I don't have a lot to talk about actually, which is good because I think I did a no buy and a low buy through this year and I was very selective with my purchases. So it's a short list. Let's get started. All right, first up is a pretty hyped product, but this just did not work for me. This is the Dior Powder No Powder. It's actually been discontinued since, which is interesting because a lot of people said they really loved this. I bought this last year, but I didn't really use it very much until this year when I put it in a project pan, and I just realized it does nothing for me whatsoever. I have the shade 2N. I have very normal skin. And this works okay to set my face, but it's not great. I still feel like my foundation moves around a little bit. And for under eyes, I am very picky about under eye powder. I have a lot of lines under my eyes, and my concealer will crease unless I use a powder that actually is like proper and good and will work for that. And this does not. Oh my gosh. My under eyes looked so bad when I used this to set my under eyes. Within 30 minutes, my concealer was like all over the place. So the only way I really am like okay with this is as a finishing powder, which I have plenty of those, and this was like $40. So yeah, definitely regret buying that. It's probably like my biggest regret. Out of all of the products here, since I'm talking about powder, I'll just talk about the other powder, which is also pretty hyped, and it is the Pat McGrath powder, which is really, really sad because I love pretty much everything else I've tried from Pat McGrath. I love the eyeshadows. I love the lip glosses, the lip liners. Those are so good. But this powder, again, it's kind of like a similar story to the Dior powder where it does not work on my under eyes whatsoever. Although this is better for setting the face, I will say, if I had to pick one, I would say the Pat McGrath is much better. Like for me, the Dior is just straight up terrible. This works fine for setting the face, it does. But for the under eyes, again, it doesn't work. Now, my concealer didn't crease as terribly as it did with the Dior powder, with the Pat McGrath powder, but disappointing. I have shade medium, and this does work like to set my whole face, but it's called the Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. I don't know what to tell you. It just made my wrinkles look worse. So didn't work for me, but this I will use to set the face. So I'm okay with that. Let's take a little break from makeup. These are the only non-makeup items in this video, and I just had to talk about these because they're so hyped up. I bought this on Black Friday last year. Don't get me wrong, I like these, but hear me out. The Dossier perfumes. So I bought 3 of these on Black Friday last year, and I've been using them quite a bit throughout this year. And the sad, sad, sad realization I've had is these just don't last long on my skin. So here's the thing. I know you can spray perfume on your clothes, and a lot of people do that. I don't like to do that because I don't want to like have to wash certain things like every single time I wear it. And I also feel like spraying my perfume on clothes doesn't smell the same as on my skin. I feel like it can be almost like a bit more, I don't know, loud and obnoxious. I like my scent to be kind of like a part of me. And I like how when you put it on your skin, it kind of like blends into your like pheromones or whatever. So I don't like to spray perfume on my clothing. Also, people have said to make things last longer, you can put like lotion on and then spray it on. I've tried that and it doesn't work. So these smell amazing. That's what's really sad. And I had a third one, which I completely finished. So the one I finished was Ambry Saffron. That's the dupe for Baccarat Rouge 540. This is Ambry Vanilla, which is a dupe for YSL Black Opium, which I've had that one. Sadly, Black Opium doesn't last that long on me either, but it definitely lasted longer than this. I just feel like once I spray these on, within an hour, I can't really smell them anymore. So I've still been using them, but I like to just layer them with other fragrances. And then Ambry Cherry, this might be my favorite. I love it. I like sweet scents with depth. And this one smells amazing. I think it's supposed to be a dupe for Tom Ford Lost Cherry. I love this one. I love the way it smells, but they're just not long lasting on me. So I like to layer these with other fragrances. And these are not like that cheap. Like they're still like $30 to $50 depending on like what deals you can get. So I don't know. It was disappointing for me just because they're not long lasting, but they smell amazing. You know, I know that some people say certain perfumes last longer on them, but they don't on me. You know, everybody's a little bit different. I did mention in a recent favorites video how much I am obsessed with Cocoa Musk, which I bought on Amazon, and it's only $10 and it lasts like all day. And these were way more expensive and they don't last, which is sad, but anyway, they smell amazing, but yeah, lasting power is my problem. Okay, this next product was really sad for me because I love this brand and it's Rare Beauty. This is the lip gloss. This is the shade in Nearly Petal. And there's nothing per se like wrong with this lip gloss. It's just super mediocre. Like it doesn't have a lot of pigment. I put some on today. I don't know, it's like mostly sheer. It doesn't add that much shine. It's a very thin formula. It just kind of like disappears after a while. I just feel like the problem with this is it's just incredibly mediocre, especially for like, I don't know, it's like a $20 lip gloss. I mean, the NYX Butter Glosses are $5 and those are way better in my opinion. They have more shine, more pigment. Yeah, disappointing because I love the Rare Beauty blushes. I love the tinted moisturizer. Even the eyeshadow palette, which at first I was like, it's okay, has grown on me. I actually like that palette a lot more than I did when I first got it. But this gloss, I mean, it's fine. I'll use it. It's just, you know, I don't know. It's just not that great. And I have lip glosses that are like a fourth of the price and are way better. Okay, last up is something that I don't even know that I've talked about this on my channel hardly at all. It is the Blend Bunny Forget Me Not palette. Now, hear me out because I have two other Blend Bunny palettes that I love. I love their formula. The reason I'm not into this is that so they advertised it as a versatile eye and face palette. So I was like, okay, great. I am all for that. I mean, if you look at the colors, it is super, super like basic colors, all neutrals, 4 shimmers, and then the rest are mattes. And so they're saying you can use some of these like as contour, bronzer, you can use these as highlighter. My issue is these work great as eyeshadow, by the way. They work great as eyeshadow, and the other Blend Bunny palettes I have are great. But these did not look good on my face. Let me tell you, especially the highlighters. This looked like I put a chunky metallic eyeshadow on as highlighter, which essentially is what it is. And for me, a highlighter needs to be more finely milled. It needs to have a lot less shimmer than a metallic eyeshadow. I think they're just way too intense for a highlighter on my face. I would say I like about a medium glow. I'm not someone who like doesn't wear highlighter or only wears the most subtle highlighter, but these just no. Like it looked terrible. It looked like super chunky. You could see my lines terribly. It just wasn't for me. And I don't know. And I think even as eyeshadows, I don't think that this formula is as good as the other two Blend Bunny palettes I have. I have the Primal palette and the Dollhouse palette. Those are fantastic. I love those. So I was like, oh, this is a really cool palette. Like, yeah, kind of versatile. So they have bigger pans, which I appreciate because if you're telling me that an eyeshadow can be used on the face, I'm going to need it to be a bit larger so that I can actually fit a face brush in there. And you can. So overall, as an eyeshadow palette, this is okay. As a face palette, for me, it's a no, particularly the highlighters. And I just prefer my other Blend Bunny palettes. I think the formula's better. So I don't know. It's kind of sad. I don't really know why I bought this, to be honest, other than I was like, oh, versatile, and I love neutrals. Great. Didn't quite work out that well for me, did it now? But you know, lesson learned. I don't use face palettes all that often, but I do love like my Hourglass palettes. I have one from Sydney Grace that I love. And I would have been happy to use this on my face if it had looked better, but it doesn't. So, I'll keep this, use it as eyeshadow, which is perfectly fine. But also, it's like when I think about it, well, if all I'm using this for is eyeshadow, I wish the pans were a lot smaller and I wish the palette was smaller because I don't need this much eyeshadow. And now this takes up like a decent amount of space in my collection when I'm not really using it that much. So it's disappointing. You get me? I think that makes sense. But that's it. That's it for these disappointing products. I hate to start Geekmas on a negative note, but I feel like disappointing products videos, for me, they're helpful because someone may say, hey, I love a really intense highlighter. That's what I want. Or someone else may say, I want the most subtle lip gloss out there. Then this may be for you. So, that's just something to think about. Just because something didn't work out for me, I still think it could help somebody else out, and these could be great products for other people. And again, none of them are terrible. I'm not like going to declutter them, but just didn't live up to the hype. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys will subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more Geekmas videos. I am very, very excited. Yay, Geekmas. And I think I want to make a playlist again. Last year I had a Geekmas playlist where, if you miss one video, you can kind of catch up on the rest. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.